Die as well is hypothermia. So let's say you have a big large hair pocket, or even you have an avalanche, but nobody found you, or you're way under too much snow. And basically what happened is that now you get cold and you die of hypothermia. Another way that you can die as well is trauma. And there's two kind of trauma that you can have. The traumas that you get on your body. So if on the way down you hit trees or rocks and whatever else, and just the snow pounding on you, then you can get just like if you would be in a car accident and you get this. So those are what they call fatal injuries. So if you see that's, for example, you know, like the head is gone, well, don't start CPR. That's a fatal injury. Or if there's major trauma to the body of the person, or when you're about to do CPR and it doesn't feel like a chest anymore, it feels like you're in a pillow, there's most likely the chest just been broke down. So those would be fatal injuries. The other way too that you can die of is that cement that we were talking before it forms itself around you, because what probably happens is as the avalanche goes down, it really compacts you, and basically it can squeeze your lungs, and suddenly you're about to breathe like this. So before, so that's the other thing too, is you're trying to make yourself as big as you can before that snow forms, and so that you can have your chest expanded and not get caught, because then you can buy epoxia, but not so much because of that pockets in front of you, but it's just because your lungs cannot take so that's why in those ones you ask if they're conscious, breathing, if they have fatal injuries, and as well as when you do your assessment. So if you do start CPR, we have a saying in the medical field that you're only dead, you're dead only when you're warm and dead. But hypothermia, what happens to your heart is that it makes it very hard to restart. Just like when you have a car in the winter when it's minus 30, minus 35, very hard to start. But same thing with the heart. It's very hard to restart it. And so even if you do CPR, and actually doing CPR can even make it worse, it goes into what we call fibrillation. And basically your heart just goes like this. And colder it is, harder it is to restart the heart. And so basically between when you're less than 32 degrees and between 32 and 35, so 35 degrees you'll have shivering, but 32 degrees Celsius you will stop shivering. And so when you're a deep hypothermia. So that's why over here they talk about different levels of hypothermia, and one of them is a patient shivering and patient not shivering. So a patient that is shivering is between 35 and 32 degrees Celsius, or 95 and 89.6 Fahrenheit. And a patient non-shivering, that would be drowsy. So drowsy would be like almost falling asleep. Mornings for people in the office would be between 32 and 28 degrees Celsius. And that is 80.6 to 82.4 Fahrenheit. And so basically those are the two different categories of people. Obviously when you get them out of this, you have to rewarm them very carefully, and but fast. So, because if they lose heat, the problem with rewarming carefully as well, and why, is that you want to rewarm someone, especially if they're in the 32 marks, from inside outside. What happens is that your vessels constrict, and when your vessel constrict, all the bad blood that goes into your arms stays there, and it gets full of acid and potassium, all kind of bad stuff over here. What happens is that if you rewarm the arm, so for example, if I put this arm, I rewarm it or shake it, that stuff when the vessel reopens, will go straight to the core and straight to the heart, and would be almost giving like a lethal ejection of bad stuff to my heart. So that's why you want to rewarm the core first, so that the circulation gets open and slowly accept the bad stuff from the extremities. So I'll put the links downstairs, down at the bottom here, and you guys check it out. And it's worth a read. And hopefully, if you have any questions, just ask.
Okay, I'm gonna drop.
Right here.